All right, well, just got back from seeing Real Women Have Curves. And I got to tell you, this is probably one of the best shows that I've seen in the past 15 years. Definitely within recent memory, top 10. I mean, the last time I show a show like this that maybe even want to talk about it or write a review was probably The Outsiders. But The Outsiders I just really appreciated because it changed my impression on theater, because coming out of a long era of COVID shows, I was just dealing with so much mass brainwashing and not a whole lot of emphasis on great content. So this show is really different, really different. Not only did it make me think, not only was it excellent, not only was the mastery in writing and the composition and the music and so much depth to the story, but it actually changed my mind about my political leanings. Realized that I have been being brainwashed and I need to soften my heart when it comes to this whole topic of immigration. I don't want to dominate the review video with that part of the conversation. I will have that probably on my separate channel on the faiththenation.tv channel. But I will tell you that some unexpected reflection has taken as a result of this show. You know, I love art, and I really don't mind when a show is going to be having a political opinion or even trying to brainwash me of something, or trying to, you know, its intent and purpose is to change your mind about something or to influence you. So long as the show itself is actually good, you can brainwash me and give me as much propaganda as you'd like. What's different about this show is I don't feel that really was their purpose. I feel they were just really trying to tell the story and do with it what you like, okay? And if I wanted to just remain hard-headed, then great, I'll just remain hard-headed. But for me, I left the show at intermission and I was taking detailed notes because I wanted to really bring this to you guys and just say we've got a 10 out of 10 production. I'd like to see this thing stay on Broadway for quite some time. And I just want to say that I don't know any of the actresses' names. I don't know the name of the playwright. I don't know the name of the composer, the lyricist. I know absolutely nothing about this show. I went in completely blind and dark, not having read any reviews whatsoever. And I'm just blown away with the amount of depth of soul and heart that this show has to say and I'm hesitant just to say this is a show about immigration just because it changed the way that I'm looking at things and softened my heart slightly, because it had so many different layers. For one thing, the show was about family. It was about hard work, and it was about the story of a struggling immigrant family, but not in like a snooze fest perspective. And we're going to tell you our story. This is our story, and we're a family that owns this business, and the only person who's legal in our family is our daughter, and our daughter wants to be a journalist, and our daughter is hiding from the family that she got a full paid scholarship to Columbia University. And the show is I don't want to give it away, obviously, but the show is about this order for 200 dresses that comes to the family's dress shop that they own, that's managed and really operated by her sister. And they've got this order for 200 dresses, and they only have 3 weeks in order to pull it off. It reminds me of that show with the shoes thing. I forgot what that was called. But anyhow, this thing is just absolutely masterful. The title of it, Real Women Have Curves, came into full display because all the women in this show were, I'm sort of hesitant to say overweight because I think the message of the show, I think that's disrespectful. Another thing that I really left the show, thinking about, because there's also been this glorification of overweight that I think that the left media, because guys, I'm a Trump supporting conspiracy nut job, but this thing was just absolutely incredible. The music was nuts, and it made me realize that just because I'm not for illegal immigration doesn't mean that I have to be an a-hole about it. And certainly doesn't mean that I'm going to allow Satan to twist my mind in order for me to look down on immigrants. And the show mentioned that a few times. And there were some political things that I didn't really like, although I don't think they were making any political points. There wasn't any points where it's like they're saying something just so that the crowd applauses in order to get that little applaud break. Like they weren't bashing Trump or they weren't doing anything like that. Again, they were just telling their story. And I really appreciate it. I recommend it to everybody, whether you care about politics or not. This is a show that is just honestly well done. Knowing how things go in this demonic city, this thing will probably close in a couple of months. So I wouldn't count on it being around for long because people just have no respect for this type of great content. If you're Hispanic, if you're Latina or Latino or Latina X, whatever it's called, then you definitely need to see this thing because it was just absolutely incredible. It's left me reflective. This is one of those pieces that makes you think. This is why I fell in love with theater so many years ago. And on top of that, I found myself doing this thing. Firstly, I was smiling the entire time during the show, okay, which I don't do because there's a standard for theater that I have. And if I don't like it, I guarantee you. And by the way, sorry I'm red, guys. I was out playing pickleball all day. I'm so happy to be back in New York. Usually I leave New York during the winter and then ever since COVID, I got rid of my apartments here. And I've got this terrible fear of commitment. But anyhow, I'm stuck in Miami working on my new business, and we've got all these wonderful shows. I don't care about what shows are wonderful. There's new shows, and it's been in the back of my mind. I've been getting really disgruntled. So I took a 2-week trip out here to see everything. The first show that I saw yesterday was Betty Boop, which I'll be doing a separate review on that, but it was also awesome. So this is the second one. Again, came in not knowing anything. It is 100% absolutely excellent. I'm just going to keep saying that over and over. The acting was incredible. The voices were incredible. It was one of those shows, again, where it's not just that I had a couple of Red Bulls before going in. It really is so well done. And it wasn't the set. It was that every single actor on the stage, I had perfect realism. I didn't doubt it. The suspension of disbelief was gone in a moment. The minute that they showcased this idea of the plot being around the 200 dresses, I was like, oh, yes, this is going to be a real story, And from the very first couple opening scenes when it was about that, they just had my attention captured. So as the show went on and it had so many different different layers to it, there was so many different various things to like. And the title of it, Real Women Have Curves, that came together in a song. I don't want to give it away, but you might skip a show because of a title like this, But don't. You might skip a show if you hear it's about immigration. No, it's not. It's a story. It's a wonderful, beautiful, beautiful story, a funny story, great characters, great heart, great depth, an unbelievable soul. And this is a show that I actually stood around outside waiting to congratulate and say hi to everybody, all the actors and actresses, which is something that you may know I don't ever do. In fact, I sort of look down on people who do that because, a New Yorker like myself, I'm not going to necessarily get your autograph. Nonetheless, I could see that they were letting VIP people in, so I could see it was going to be quite a while before they come out. So I did leave prematurely. I took a little bit of footage as evidence that I did indeed stay around. But I just really wanted to get on camera because I want to be a part of making this show successful. And whatever I can do in order to throw a bone, I just feel like after going through COVID and I literally had to walk out at so many different shows because they were trying to shove a political message or an ideology down my throat that I'm not going to buy. This is the right way to do it. You just how you change the hearts and the minds of people. You changed my heart. You changed my mind. Now, I'm not down with the whole idea of, hey, we're just going to keep coming back into the country even if you kick us out anyways. I'm all about the rule of law, and personally speaking, on the political front, I think this whole Biden era was sort of an exception to the rule. I've always taken care of immigrants. I've always found immigrants in my life. I've always had a heart for them. But I think during the Biden administration, when they tried to pull the wool over our eyes and then tried to immediately make all these people citizens, I've bought into this conspiracy that they did that in order to basically take over the voting republic and make it so that we would never see Republicans or conservatives in office ever again. So it made me hard in my heart. And I as a Christian, I had been aware of that, and I've been fighting it and taking off all my thoughts captive to the obedience of Christ. But things leak out, and I just realized in this show that there's I've always been aware of it, but somehow I've been allowed myself to forget that there's a lot of people who come here trying to make a better life for their family. And this whole narrative that is sort of fed to us by the conservative machinery in the Trump administration. Again, not saying anything negative about that, because I'm still a Trumper. I'm still pro legal immigration stuff. But I'm about Jesus first. And I want to know, why is it that these countries are so desolate in the first place that they have to come to the United States of America, albeit illegally, in order to make a life for themselves? Why are they so unprosperous in their countries? And who do we have to blame for that? Satan. I'm going to blame Satan. I'm going to blame the New World Order. I'm going to blame the world financial systems. I'm not going to blame capitalism, because that's just low-hanging fruit that's not intellectually honest with history and with a degree of understanding history and conspiracy as I have. I blame it on these globalist pigs that have destroyed, through the IMF, the monetary funds, and through capitalist systems, indeed, but through globalization, they destroyed these countries, and they made it so that people can't provide for themselves. And with the disparity of the value of the dollar compared to their currencies, and their nations already haven't gone through hyperinflation, they've been telling us over and over that they've came over here and it's all these men. And the show mentioned in the scene, again, I don't think they had the intention of preaching to us. It's just the way it worked out in my heart. But in the show, they made reference to the fact that her father, the daughter's father, came here and took a risk, leaving his family and traveling with coyotes and stuff, where you risk death in order to get over here. I mean, this is a real thing, So I don't know. I didn't really want to make this a politics thing, but I had to explain to you guys why I felt it was so good. I just feel like so good because this is what theater is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be something that is emotional, and it's supposed to be well done. And when you do have an opinion or a purpose or a motive, just do it the right way. So kudos to you guys. If the creators of the show end up watching this, I want to talk to you guys. I want to give you a hug. I want to tell you how you've really done a great job with this show. And I just love it so very much. So everybody go see it. Buy tickets at full price. Don't do the discount thing, because let's have them be successful. I know you're not going to do that. You're going to do the discount thing. I'm all about the discount thing. So God bless you guys. All right, in Jesus Christ. Bye bye.